Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Be Fearless podcast. And today, as you can notice, this is a very special episode because y'all know I don't go live at 6 p.m. Okay. Y'all know Be Fearless podcast is always at 1 p.m. But hello, this is a very special episode because I'll bring you today a group of women that are truly amazing. But before I introduce you to all of them, let me um tell you something. I am so excited. I am so happy. I am over the moon because this month United Kingdom picked up the podcast. So thank you to the UK for making Be Fearless podcast one of your favorites. Thank you so much for the support. We truly appreciate it here on the Be Fearless podcast. And today I am so happy and so excited to have you all join us as we delve into the world of skincare, confidence, and life experiences with a group of inspiring mature women. From sharing timeless skincare secrets to discussing how confidence evolves with age, these remarkable women offer invaluable wisdom and insight gleaned from their rich life journeys. Let's welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Amy, Teresa, and Karen. Hello,
Mm.
everybody.
Hi.
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 Hey.
Hi,
How
everybody.
how are you doing, ladies?
Mm.
Where are you talking to me today? Where are you from?
Brooklyn.
Florida. Florida.
Woo! I love it. You know,
And where are you?
I am in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Virginia, yes, East Coast. You know, we rock the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We rock the East Coast.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this day for a while now. And I am so happy to have all of you here. For the people that doesn't know you, obviously this is a very different podcast because I usually have one guest.
Mm.
So today I'm like breaking the pattern with a bang. So as so for the people that doesn't know you, I want each one of you to say your name and answer this famous question, which is, what was your dream growing up? Like, who were you growing up, and what was your dream growing up? Let's start with Karen.
With
Karen,
me?
you're the first. Yes.
Oh, okay. So, in all honesty, and I know this sounds crazy, I didn't have a dream. I had
That's
no
the first.
dreams. Yeah, I had no dreams growing up. I didn't have a great childhood at all. And there were lots of different reasons that went into that, why I didn't have a great childhood, but I never had a dream. I didn't dream about getting older. I didn't dream about getting married. I didn't dream about having children. I didn't dream about anything. And it didn't dawn on me that I didn't have those dreams until one day I was on the subway and I heard these two girls talking. And the two girls were just, yapping about their days. They were just chit-chatting, they were friends. They were probably like teenagers. And one girl said to the other girl, "One day I'm gonna." And she went on with something. And it hit me like lightning. I never had that. The one day I'm gonna. Never. It wasn't until I got older. It wasn't until I was well into my 30s that I had any thoughts.
So what
on
was that dream when you reach 30 and then you have that change in mindset? What was the
Oh,
dream?
just that I'm gonna start having a life. I'm gonna have a life, and I mean, I guess maybe it was probably later than 30, but that I'm gonna have a life. A lot had to do with I used to drink a lot. And that started when I was in 5th grade. It's a whole long story. So I think that it was when I stopped drinking that I started realizing that, I could have things that, that other people think about. I mean, even if they're like little, simple, but it's just, to me, the most significant part of it was that I did not have those dreams when I was a kid. And I think that one of the warning signs to parents is when they don't hear things like that. because I'm just surprised all the time that my parents did not pick up on the fact that I never said, like, I want to be an astronaut. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or I want to be a cowgirl, or I want to be a, a something. And anything that I ever said that I thought that I wanted to be, because it was like 3 minutes that I wanted to do modeling, I'm too short. And I was too short, and it was a fleeting thing. It was something that somebody said to me when I was like 17. And it was just poo-pooed. And I think that I just didn't think about it again. And that was it. I mean, and that was only like a few minute thing. It was just, I didn't have very supportive parents. I'm just,
Oh, wow.
whoever out there, I didn't have supportive parents. I mean, my parents were good for me in different points and aspects of time. They did things that were good for me or helped me.
But they didn't focus on kind of like digging into what you wanted to get out of life.
No, not at all. Zero.
Amy.
Well, I'm Amy, obviously. I am 53. When I was growing up, I had what I thought, looking back now, was a simple dream of having children. I always wanted to be a mom. That was probably one of the most important things that I always thought of that. And I wanted to teach school. And I did get my bachelor's degree in education, but that my career took another path. But yeah, the simple dream of wanting a family. I have a husband. I am lucky, but I did not have children, sadly. So
It's okay. I don't have children either.
yeah.
Me neither.
Teresa.
I'm Teresa, and I'm 59 years old. And when I was a kid, by my parents, other than I always wanted to be rich and famous and be a movie star and, that kind of thing. And always dreamt about the white picket fence, house, kids type thing. I found my one and only, which we're going to be married 38 years. I have two wonderful kids. I have a granddaughter. And as far as for me, I guess being on TikTok was the closest thing that I can get to say that my dream is per se, because you're creating videos, you're trying different things, you're putting yourself in a spotlight that normally would not be put in. So I guess my dream was semi fulfilled, but
getting there.
It's my time for me.
I love that. And I love that you're actually saying that you're achieving your dreams or reaching for new goals at this age. For me, it's kind of important that the audience out there kind of like listen to that, because society thinks that you reach a certain age and that's it, you're done. Like you cannot do new things. You cannot build yourself to become something better, a better version of yourself. Like there's a limit, a cap on the things that you can do at a certain age. And I think, well, there's certain things, yes, but it doesn't mean that your life is stopped right there. It doesn't mean that you cannot build yourself to a better version of yourself. And for the people that is listening, yo, I found this amazing woman, this fabulous, fantastic woman in TikTok. And they're part of a community that I love a lot. And I think I have mentioned once or twice, that is called the Slaverhood. And this woman basically lifted me up when I was really down. And I love them. And I wanted to share their wisdom with you today, so you can follow up along with them and tag into their content and learn from them, because they have so much to give to you. And I wanted to put the spotlight to them on them today, so you can also grow and learn. One of the topics that all of them talk about is skincare. That's how we all came in, kind of like met together, right?
Right.
Also, because we follow our beautiful Christina Muse, which is an
Right.
amazing human
Our
being,
queen.
our queen.
Hmm.
And but like what I love from the whole community is that each one of us have our own niche, our own conversation, but we all support each other, and that's what it's all about at
Yeah.
this age. You know,
Hmm.
Absolutely.
it's
That's
about
one-
supporting each other, not to tear us apart. And I would like to start further in the conversation with you girls. What what actually motivated you? What was the trigger for you to say, I'm going to do this? I'm going to put myself in the spotlight and start sharing my journey with everybody on TikTok?
For me was I had come from a horrible series of events that happened over 3 years. And I had just left a 30-year career in legal and compliance. And I was pretty much at a low point and thinking, what is my next chapter in my life going to be? I have to, get myself out of this funk. And I would literally was watching my niece on TikTok. And I think the algorithm that I was looking on online, like makeup, skincare, may have pulled me into the For You page.
Mm-hmm.
Up comes Christina. And I was like, oh, well, she's interesting. And I really just started to watch. And I joined her community, and the story started there, really. And it took probably months for me after talking to Christina, going back and forth with some of the ladies and just saying, oh, this is really making me feel good. I'm people are starting to recognize my name and I'm making new friends. And at this point, I hadn't spoken yet to Karen or Teresa. I call her T. So I'm going to refer to her as T.
That's all right.
Um, and I haven't really spoken to them yet, but I just kept on following the community, and I just really fell in love with the empowerment that I felt was coming back. I'm a strong lady. I was successful, and it's time for me now.
Yeah.
And how the journey began. And then, of course, I made these very important friendships that I will cherish forever. And that's really where it began. And literally, one day I just turned on the camera and started filming. Simple as
Wow,
put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And I
that's
started.
awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would have to say for me, I went on TikTok because I had a teenage granddaughter who was getting involved in social media. So every social media platform she was on, I went on just so I can watch her, make sure she didn't get into any trouble or anything like that. And that's how I had TikTok. And I had a really bad year in 2021. As we all know, it all started with 2020.
Hmm.
But there's been a lot of passings and deaths in my family through that year, all at once, unfortunately. So I was kind of going in a downward spiral. Um, and I was just, at home and went on TikTok, and up came Christina on my page. And I just started listening to her and watching her. And I saw her before and afters. And I thought, wow, you know, here's a woman that if she can change herself, why can't I? And so I just continued to follow her. Long story short, about 3, 4 months later, I reached out to her and she helped me with a skincare routine and started meeting some new friends and making myself feel more confident about myself and felt good. I was getting out of my rut that I was in. And, you know, I just decided, well, you know what? I really need to step it up one more level. So I hit the record button and I started making a video, and I was a nervous wreck because if you go back on my page, my first 10 videos, I was like, didn't know what I was doing. Very nervous, stuttering. And I just slowly kept getting better at it. And then I met a bunch of other people that we've made friends with, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you, Karen?
It's very hard to follow up these two because the story is, a little bit similar to the certain degree that we all of a sudden felt like we were like, oh, I forgot to mention before, I just turned 60 in December. So I was
Congratulations.
I know. So I was
Mhm.
59 years old, and my weight has gone up and down 100 pounds numerous times in my life. I have like a little bit of like food issues and anxiety and so forth. And um, so I had kind of like started on a plan that I was going to lose some weight. And then I thought to myself, I look 100, I don't know how this is happening, but I look 100. And then one day my niece from California, she, I believe, had showed me TikTok on some vacation that we saw. And I've heard of TikTok, obviously, but I thought first of all, I was like, I didn't have any time for like another social thing because I was trying, I have an Instagram thing and I had Facebook, and I was like, I can't do another social thing. I just thought it was for children and I thought it was silly. And so she would show me a couple of things on TikTok, and then, and I liked a few things, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. And then I was watching and watching and watching. And, as you're watching and liking things and liking things and watching, you start getting more things that are a little bit more appropriate. Well, somehow or another, I got, there was a woman that came on. The first person that I saw was this woman, Leah, and she is a stay-at-home mom, and she's much younger than me. I mean, she has, I think, two little children. So but all she does all day long is film herself doing stuff in the house. And I thought to myself, I absolutely could do this. This is ridiculous. I totally could do this. And of course didn't, I didn't do anything with it. But then time went on. And then I saw Christina, and I saw Christina's the video where she turns back time, and she shows about anti-aging and how you can actually turn back time. And I was like, this lady, I was like, I like her. So I watched pretty much every single solitary video that she ever did. And time went on a little bit, and I got in contact with her. And I don't remember which came first, whether or not I got in contact with her or I started recording. And I wasn't, I was very nervous. I remember the first time that Christina said to me that my video, it was one video I did. It was actually a video on foundation. And she said, that was the best video that you have ever done. And that you were so incredibly comfortable and confident. It was like you stepped over the line, like you stepped over the page, right? And then since then, it's just been better and better as far as just feeling more comfortable and more confident. And then as the skincare that she had suggested and has since suggested, and what we've all done together, and meeting Teresa and Amy and the other girls in this neighborhood, the ones that I've met, and also some skincare company people, it's been like a life and a dream that I never would have imagined would have happened, especially at 60.
Oh,
60.
wow.
60.
Yeah.
How did I get to be 60? This is what I want to know. I just do not understand how I got to be 60.
No.
I don't know.
I
I
ask
just don't
myself
understand it.
that question every day. Me too. I'm like, how did I get to be 47? Like, not yet.
But in my mind, I'm like 47's young. I'm like 47's pretty young.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I even thought that you were 60. Like, you don't look, and we're gonna get into the magic that what they do, that they
Yeah.
all look so beautiful. We're gonna get there. But I didn't
Skincare.
thought about it. Like, I thought that you were like maybe in your early 50s, like 51, 52. I didn't thought like you were 60. Like, I'm
Well, that's
like,
good. But 60 doesn't look 60 anymore.
No.
You know, I see a lot of creators who are older, even older than me. And, you know, it's going to happen. You know, my mother is 88 years old. I see her. I see everything that is going on her face, that has been going on. Do I think that there are things that she probably could have done, you know, before to help it, you know, because the idea that our mothers had about skincare was so wrong.
Yes.
And I'm not talking order. I'm not really talking about the order, which is definitely a factor in having your skincare work well. But I'm talking about just old wives' tales. You know, like my mother would say something to me like, nothing topical could ever get into your skin, which is totally wrong.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. That's not true. You know, it has to do with the molecule size of whatever is trying to get in. And so, you know, she would just lots of different things that she would say, you know, or she would say things like, you have to stay with, and actually, cosmetic companies would do this too. You need to stay with the same line. So in other words, you use this cleanser, use this,
You could not
use
mix
this
and
vitamin.
match.
You can't mix and match, and you have to use each thing for a minimum of a month, which is not true. I switch vitamin C's like I switch, you know,
Yep.
black turtlenecks.
Right.
Yes.
Which is often. That's often.
Exactly. But that's fantastic. I mean, as y'all can notice, they all have pretty much the same niche, is skincare. Now I want kind of like getting to the meat and bones of all the things that you know and have learned through this journey. What has been, or what are some of the most impactful skincare practices that you have adopted through this journey?
Exfoliating.
Exfoliating for
I think
sure.
that's the most,
Exfoliating.
how's
And
it
I know
call
that
it?
there are going to be people out there that their blood's going to boil, but exfoliating
and consistency.
and consistency, that's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the two
Yeah.
biggest. The exfoliation, consistency, and water.
And water.
A lot of water. But
Yeah.
On that, and that I'm good. I'm like water. That's checked.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we were taught, at least I was taught, you wash your face, you moisturize your face. There was no exfoliating. You know, there was, I think, a toner that you put on, and there was and moisturizer. There was no actives. There was no, exfoliating or any of that. And forget order. There was no such thing as an order back then. And that's all it was. And now you should see my product line.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Now it's everything from cleanser, from exfoliation, from serums, from actives, from everything. And I love it. I'm in for the ride. I don't know, you guys, if you're listening right now. I am in. And I hope you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
How have these changes contributed to your confidence and well-being?
Oh, it has changed me so much. It has changed. I mean, being able to reach out and talk to people, being on this podcast I would never have done this. I would have shied away. I would have hidden in a corner. Now, since I am reaching out to people and my followers are reaching out to me and wow, you really helped me, or you made me feel great this way, or thank you so much. You don't know what you've done. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can really make a change. You know, it goes, the skincare, the makeup, it's so much fun and it makes you feel so good. But when you realize that you're actually touching people through TikTok, you feel the feeling is just fantastic. And I can't imagine how Christina feels, because we always write.
Oh my gosh. Can't even imagine. I tell her all the time. I tell her, sorry, Amy, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, it's true. It gives you a feeling of, I have changed myself on the outside and the inside because I've stepped out of my comfort zone, helped somebody else. and it is so empowering, and it means so much to me. And I know these two are sensitive like me, and it
Yeah.
is just such a special feeling. I can't
Yeah.
put it into
It's a
words.
very good feeling
Yeah.
when you have one of your followers, or I should say, I have several of followers,
Yeah.
message me, thanking me
Yep.
and asking me questions. And I'm thinking, wow, they're, I was that person at one point,
Yes.
and now they're coming to me, and that boosts your confidence. It boosts, you know, your whole level of your mental being. It just makes you feel so much better, other than just the outside. It's on the inside also.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a lot of toxicity in my life, and a lot of, just a lot of things that like didn't go my way. There's a lot of people, and and it's not through hard work, because I've worked hard since I was 14 years old. But there is something that Christina has, and besides being like brilliant and beautiful and knowledgeable, right? She is such an amazingly great person and
Mhm.
such a good friend, and she has a beautiful heart.
Yeah.
And it only invites and keeps the ones
Good.
that are really um in a bond. And we are all in a bond, and we all do have different things that we talk about, though, because I don't really I get some skincare questions. Everybody wants to know, what do you use here, what do you use there, what about with your lipstick. But like I do a lot of posts that, now living through all of the toxicity that I had in my life and all of the things that didn't go my way, and unlike my sister, um I talk about it. So like I basically just talk about my life in mixture with skincare and makeup and fragrance. But like I'm no skincare expert. Like I
Christina.
listen to Christina.
Christina.
And if it works for me, I will continue it. Like I definitely have much more sensitive skin than she does. And so I can't use everything that, like, she once talked about some scrub that she made herself. I would be in the hospital. There would be no way I could use that. So, but if she's already done the science, she's done the work, she's
Mhm.
done the research, she has
Exactly.
read through all the clinical trials. I'm talking about the ones that we can't get, right?
Mhm.
She's already done this. I am not one to rework the wheel. Like I don't need to remake the wheel. If she
Exactly.
says that this is the product, done. I
Right.
will talk about it. I can tell you why it's good, but I didn't do the work behind it. So I think that that's why she's always going to be our leader. Like
Yeah.
nobody's taking her place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
That's
no
there's
way.
that's for sure.
there's there's
Yeah,
only one
she's
Christina.
That's
there's
the
only
one and
one
only.
Christina. Yeah,
The
and
one and
she's
only
amazing.
Christina.
Yeah,
She's
she's
Absolutely
amazing.
amazing.
yeah.
I,
I mean, you guys that you're listening, just go whenever you have a chance, to TikTok and search for Christina No H.
Hmm.
And that's the amazing woman that we're talking about. Like that's the woman that, because of her journey in building her confidence and doing all this researching in products and getting fed up by what the media out there is pushing, that, oh, this is the product that you have to take.
Right.
No, you don't
I have
have
to
to.
correct you, though. She had a lot of confidence before she started this.
Well, yeah,
She,
but
she,
but she's more
she
confident now.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
she's more confident now, but she was confident then. I think that
yeah,
what pushed her was she did not appreciate or want women to waste their money
yeah.
right.
On
on
these products,
products that
yeah,
do not work,
do not
Right.
work. Yeah,
right?
yeah. And
Absolutely.
I'm gonna share my story of how I came across
Oh
Christina.
yeah.
But she's amazing. And you know, I found Christina in she kept popping on my FY page. Like I was like, and I kept scrolling. I was like, yeah, she's talking about, yeah, I love that. Yeah, interesting. Okay, keep moving. When she kept like popping and popping, I was like, how did I get involved in here? And then I see her talking about collagen, and at the time, I was part of a company that actually sold this collagen that she was talking about. And I was like, started listening to her. And then I was like, hmm, interesting. And then I did my research and I was like, because, if somebody tells me this is green and then the other person is telling me, no, it's not green, it's blue, let me go and check why it is a blue. Why
Mm-hmm.
somebody else is saying this blue. And I did my research. I was shocked to find that she was right. I was like, oh no. Oh, okay. So there's some changes that we need to make here. Um, so I ended up stepping back from getting involved with that company specifically. And I started to listen more to what she was saying. And everything that she said, I'm like, yes, it is true. It is true. It is true. And then she won me over because what she was telling is the truth. She's not here selling me anything. She's just like, this is it, black and white. This is why. And I love that transparency and the honesty, and that's such rare qualities to come across somebody these days. That I'm like, I I love her. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was. Can you hear me?
We
Yes.
all have a special bond. Yep.
Yes.
Hold on one second, Teresa. Can you hear
I
me?
could hear you. I could hear you. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Teresa. No.
Teresa, can you hear me? Amy, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can
Okay.
hear you. I
I
can
can hear
hear
you. I
Karen.
can't
I
hear
can hear
Teresa.
Amy. Teresa, speak.
I think that she did something to her
No.
phone.
Um, go out and come back.
But I just,
Yeah.
yeah. Second. What's interesting now for each of us, Christina has, given us the skincare. Continues to give us
Mm-hmm.
out products that we use and how we
Mm-hmm.
use them. But as we each grow, our
Can you
audience,
listen us? Can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
okay,
Okay. It
Okay,
was
good.
like something happened, but welcome back.
well,
Thank you.
as
Go
we
ahead.
grow our audience, we're finding that we are reaching or finding our own little niche.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's becoming interesting and making us feel empowered. Like, wow, we really do have a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And we could reach other women that may be going through the same thing as us. And
Mm-hmm.
that it's super empowering. And it's
Yeah.
so meaningful to
Yeah.
me.
And you can tell that she's such a can-hearted person too. When she shared the stories about, the things that she does, and the experiences that she has, and how the people that she has helped, like, is just like, it touches your heart. And finding then that, because of everything that she's doing, a community just like got together around her. And it is like that feeling. Like it's a sisterhood, and I love that.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's something that we need more of that in the world. Like
Yeah.
We do.
it, it's incredible how women, we talk a lot in and I say we in general, right? We talk a lot about, yeah, supporting people, helping women, and yeah, I'm here for you, and blah blah blah. And we hear all this chatter that yes, we're gonna support each other, empower women, but when it comes to time to do it, not too many women, too many come forward and actually do it.
Hmm.
And we need more of that.
With this community, when
Yeah,
one of us gets hurt, we will
everybody gets
all
hurt.
Yep.
are there to back you up, to lift.
Yeah,
We unite as one.
We really
Yeah.
yeah. And I
yeah.
love that. I
Yep.
love that about the
Mhm.
community.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there definitely are people that are closer than other people. You know, there are groups within the groups, and you know, if this neighborhood has, I don't know, 800 people now, I mean, I'm not friends with
No,
800
I
people,
think last time I checked, it
but
was like 1,000 people.
okay, so let's say 1,000 people. I'm not friends with all of these 1,000 people. I probably only know a small percentage of them, but the friends that I have on, you know, through this are going to be like my best. They're like my best friends forever and ever and ever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're missing. And while I absolutely adore Christina, and Christina is part of it, but you know, there's another woman, Lisa, who is not
Yeah.
here, and she
But
is
she's
definitely
coming. She's coming to the podcast eventually. I
Lisa.
invited her.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. The four of us have like a really little special thing going,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we just are there for each other, and we click and we jive. I mean, I'm trying to think of like all of these words that would express like how much we laugh and love and get along and are there for each other, which is something that I mean, I was not in the market for a new friend. You know what I mean? Like I have my besties from when I was young, you know,
Right.
but that the new friendships, like I wasn't
Yes.
looking for new friends.
And then
I
I
wasn't. Were you? Was anybody here really looking for
nope,
new friends?
nope, I
No, that
I
never
was
even crossed my mind.
never. And it's
I yeah, I in my case I did wanted to connect because I do have a very small circle.
Mhm.
Like I can count my best friends with one hand,
Yeah.
maybe less, maybe less than 5 fingers. But I can count my best friends with my hand. I can count the number of people that are truly close to me.
Hmm.
And when it comes to like immediate people to me, I barely have any. So, um, or barely that I can trust. So for me, it was really important to kind of like establish a connection, um, because that was my lifeline. That's all I had. I was like, I need to find my tribe.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
tribe is somewhere. I felt like I was like you know how dogs fly together.
Yep.
Hmm.
So I felt like the dog that lost the GPS. The GPS was like completely out of
Hmm.
coordinates, and I was like just all the way down south. And I needed to find my flock. I needed to find my tribe.
I
So and that's how it felt for me.
I totally relate to that. It's interesting because I started watching Karen. I mean, I just started a series. I almost, mm, died, and TikTok saved my life, and it's the absolute truth. It's the absolute truth. I was scrolling, I saw Christina, then I saw Karen telling her life stories, and then I was watching Teresa T, sorry, and Teresa was, just starting videos, and she was trying to reach 1,000 viewers, and so was I. And I just reached out to T, and I'm like, let's get you to 1,000. We'll promote you, and then we'll promote me. And that's how our friendship started. And I was
Mhm.
reaching out to Karen via Messenger and leaving comments, on her posts. And I was like, wow, she's really powerful. And then you probably remember, like, I was like fangirling you. I'm like, oh, that's such a good story, or whatever. And
Well, you were just always very sweet,
I,
always,
Mhm.
you
I,
know.
I loved your stories, and I was like, wow, like I could really relate to this person. And then T, we had so much in common. And then when I
Yes.
was talking to Karen, I'm like, whoa, we have so much in common.
Hmm.
Amazing friendship just like came together. And if I tell you, there's not one day that goes by where I'm not speaking to these women, texting. We always have a nighttime phone call that we plan on maybe half an hour, and it's 2 hours later. And
Yeah.
ourselves laughing, lifting each other up. It is really that amazing. at
I
this
love that.
life.
I would like to also add, she's not here tonight. Lisa
Yeah.
Lozo. She recently joined our group and we kind of named ourselves the Big Apple Beauties.
Yes.
And the four of us are all from New York. The four of us all have a lot in common. And we just clicked. It just clicked. I don't even know how to explain it. It just clicked. And we know what the other next one's going to say, how we're going to act, what, if one of us is hurt or sad, we're right there. We're right there for each other. And it's just an amazing group that we have going here.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And that's what I also wanted kind of like have you up here in the podcast today to kind of like share your journey, what you're doing in TikTok, because I think that the world needs this. Like women around the world, we need this. We need this community, and we need to find each other. And if I can help another woman find each one of you or any of you and kind of like help you to reach out and get a lifeline or get a sisterhood, at least my mission has been accomplished, right?
Right.
But now going back to kind of the social topic that we were talking about, for some reason we ended up talking about how we ended up here. We veer from the conversation, but that's fine.
Which social? Yeah. Refresh,
Yeah.
please. Refresh our memories.
So, um, how would you say, or how do you navigate the social pressures and stereotypes surrounding aging? When it comes to creating the content that you do and also reacting to what people tells you, how do you navigate the social pressures and stereotype of surrounding aging? Because obviously we're talking about skincare, mature skincare, and we're talking about topics that are centered mostly to mature women. Um, but there's that societal standard that creates that pressure, right? Like I said before. So how do you navigate that?
I don't buy into it. I just won't get involved with uh I I haven't felt, I mean, as even though I am 60 and I did a whole series going to 60 to 60 from 60 days before I turned 60 to 60, talking about like all my life lessons and if I knew then what I knew now and all that other stuff. I don't have I don't have a real I don't have a real issue when it comes to aging. Now, I know I might at some point. You know what I mean? Like I might feel that way at some point,
Mhm.
but I think that there are you know what? I've always been too busy worrying about my weight to worry about anything with aging, you know?
But that,
Honestly. I couldn't care less about aging for most of my life. It was always about my weight. So I don't think about it because to me, if anybody is looking at me, they are not looking at all as to, this is my thought. They're not looking as to how old I am. I feel that they are wondering, like how heavy is she? or or did she lose weight? Is she heavier? Is she thinner? Is she heavier than she was the last time? You know what I mean? Like that sort of inner stuff that goes on with me. Like I don't really think too much about age per se, other than trying to, slow down the time until I decide to get a facelift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
for me,
I'm trying to hold that back, trying
you
to
don't
try
have,
to delay that.
Yeah.
it looks beautiful. So for me, I had a very tragic experience, and it completely changed my outlook on life. And I was just really saying, you know what? I am 52 when I started. I'm 53. What? Who's going to tell me that my age is so important, and it's, you can't do this or you can't do that. No, at this point in my life, who cares? Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be the person that I just want to be. This is my
Yeah.
chance at life, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take it and live it and love it. And it's really happening. It's just
Yeah, if you don't mind, can I add something to that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Societally, the emphasis on youth, and we'll talk about weight another time, but the emphasis on youth is definitely something that one would feel. I think that that's something that everybody can see and feel, that everybody is so young, but I will tell you that if you ask an 80-year-old or a 90-year-old what they think about us, they're saying we're young.
Right.
So it
Yep.
is, and I am a firm believer we all have the same amount of life in front of us, and that's today. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. It's a gift. Life is a gift.
Hmm.
You have to
Yeah,
thank
we're all
each
the same
day.
age,
Mhm.
really.
Yes. I was interviewing Christy from Hito
Oh,
last week, and something that she mentioned, I can't recall exactly if she mentioned it in the podcast, so it wasn't one of her lives, but something that she said, and it kind of like stuck with me from that point forward, is that she said, I'm looking to myself from 20 years ahead. Like, let's say she is 60, right? So she's looking at herself as she were 80, like
mhm.
she's looking back, and then kind of like, obviously, I'm gonna look beautiful. If you
Hmm.
go forward 20 years and you look back and you say, oh, I look so good 20 years ago,
Hmm.
right? So she
Mhm.
right now at this point of in time, just looking herself through the eyes of her older self. And I think that's
Okay.
really beautiful, because
Yeah.
it takes off you so much pressure
Well,
that
Yes, I
I
can
most
see
look
that.
at it. I look at it as, you know, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have said that. Today, almost, I'm going to be 60 this year. I'm going to look damn good when I turn 80.
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
yes, and
I'm
it,
gonna,
Yeah, we're going to be those women.
Yep.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that maybe it is also that not only is society giving us pressure, but we are putting pressure on ourselves as well.
mm,
um I think that the worst judge of a person is oneself. Like, we are the hardest person that you can get feedback from. I
Yep.
know I'm hard on
Yeah,
myself all
the
the
inner
time.
noise,
Yes,
the inner chatter, the inner noise. Yeah, it's horrible,
Mm-hmm.
the
yeah,
It
the
is.
the
but it's
one
less now.
much much less. And the one thing I really try to practice, I will never forget these words. Someone once said to me, "Give yourself some grace." You know. And, oh, wait, that really registers with me. Just give yourself some grace. Be kind. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Don't be so hard on yourself. Look at you,
Mm-hmm.
3. You're changing your skin, and you're changing your life, and you've developed all these friendships, and I think the same. And you know you just have to give yourself some grace. In fact, I made a bracelet on the weekend. We all had a little activity. How would you what's important to you? And that was what I put on the bracelet. Give yourself grace. And I think at this point in my that is very important to remember. Give yourself some grace. You're not perfect, but you're the best you can be, and that is the most important thing. You're the best. You
Hmm.
put yourself out there. You stepped out of your comfort zone. Maybe you tripped a little bit. Give yourself some grace. It's okay.
Well, we're constantly saying be kind to
Yep.
others, be good to others.
Mhm.
We need to say that to ourselves as well.
Correct.
Right. I mean, every once in a while, if somebody says anything in our group that is down on themselves, or even people in my life, my other life, I say things like, "Would you ever say that to me? Would you ever say that to me? Would you ever
Right.
tell me that my ex doesn't look good, or my blah 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 is to this, or my blah 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 is to that?" And the answer, of course, is no. I would never say anything like that to you. You're my friends. I love you. Well, don't say that to yourself.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Give yourself grace.
give
Yep.
yourself some grace.
Exactly. I totally agree. But it's so hard also sometimes just to give yourself some grace.
It is hard, but you have to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
practice and no one's perfect, but just forgive yourself. You know, give yourself grace. Give yourself that moment. Okay, this is not going the way I wanted to, but deep breath. Give yourself some grace. Turn it around. Turn it around, and yeah, give it another try. And that's what I do.
Yep.
Exactly what I do.
Awesome. Now let's go more into skincare topic. Now that we talk about, general things, let's go and talk about the fun stuff now.
All right.
Can you share a personal skincare or beauty ritual that brings you joy?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
No,
Yeah, go
Teresa.
ahead, Amy.
my favorite time of day, I love it in the morning, when I'm getting ready, but my favorite time is at night when I get to spend either it's 20 minutes, it could be 45 minutes, washing my face, sitting down at my desk with all my products, deciding what my skin needs today. What am I going to choose to, and where does the ingredient go in the Chris method? It's it's just my peace. It really has become my peace, and I love it. Whether I come home late from some wedding or whatever, 2 o'clock in the morning, I make sure I get that time, 20 minutes or 45 minutes. I'm sitting down and I'm taking my skincare seriously, and I'm giving myself my time. That is my time of day, and no one is going to take it away from me. And I just love it.
Mhm.
I love learning about the products, how they work together, how you can't use them together, and what my skin needs that day. It's just the best. I love it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Teresa.
I would have to say my favorite time is also skincare morning and night, but what I really enjoy about it is to the evening versus the morning is I don't have to rush in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So I have more time. So as soon as, as soon as I get home from work, I work from home. So when I'm done working and I know I'm not going on a live or I'm not creating any type of video, first thing I do is start my skincare.
Yeah.
And I take my time doing it and I enjoy every moment of it.
Same.
Yeah. I feel similarly to these two here. But I think that they enjoy the whole ritual. I mean, I like the ritual, I like the time, I like the peace, I like all of it. But I do, there are dogs here, and I always feel like I'm pulled in a thousand directions. But I will say one of my favorite thing is washing my face. I just like washing my face. I like it. I like everything about it. I like if I have makeup on, I don't wear makeup all the time, but if I have makeup on, the most pleasure that I will get is taking it off. It's like all I want to do is get it off. I want to get it off. I want to wash my face. I want my face to be clean and then move on with the skincare. And my favorite part of the skincare probably would be the end part. And I know it sounds funny, but the end part where I put on either some, like a night oil, And then I put my tape talks on, and then I'm in bed. I get in bed, and that's it. Then I'm in my happy place. I'm happy. I'm in bed. I can watch some TV, even though since we've been on the phone so much and we have a lot of projects that we're doing together. I haven't really gotten into bed early at all by any stretch. So I'm not watching a lot of TV, but I at least have to watch a half an hour because it calms me down.
Yeah.
But I do like doing it with my tape talks on.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you
Yeah.
sleep with
And
them?
washing my face. Hmm?
Yeah.
Do you sleep with them?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
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 I do sleep with them. I don't do it often. I do a little washout. Well, I was doing a little washout. My stone broke up. I slipped from my hands and just like
Ugh.
broke it in pieces. But now I have the roller, the face fit
Oh, okay.
roller. So now I kind of like elevated. I was like, that something this happened for a reason. It
Yeah.
broke
The
up for
face
a
fit roller
reason.
is nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So for me, it's also night. I think the nighttime is like the best time. Um, and the more that you will enjoy. But for me, it goes to another level because it's like what I can definitely disconnect from everything.
Yes.
Like just like disconnect everything, phone, everything. Because in the morning you're still like running. Like you feel like
Yep.
okay, you woke up and just like reacting to everything. So I totally agree with you all that nighttime is the best time. It's the one
Mhm.
that brings you more joy.
Yes.
And Now let me ask you a question. What does, based on all your experience, your confidence, and your sense, like what would you say is the true definition of beauty?
Kindness. Honestly, it's kindness. It's empathy. You know,
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
That's what I've learned here. You don't know where someone else is coming from, and you always need to practice kindness and empathy. You just never know what the other person on this DM or who's messaging you on a live, where they're coming from. And sometimes the question may come across, or their statement may come across as curt, but it's really not. It's just the space that they're in. And you
Mhm.
remember where you were when you started this journey, and maybe they are in that same space, and to practice kindness and be empathetic.
Yeah.
And patient.
Right. But
Be
you could
patient with
still,
people.
have inner beauty and outward beauty towards other people and inner beauty towards other people, and also feel that there's it doesn't make us a whole bunch of like I can't think of the word, um doormats.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of sass in this group, and I'm not talking about this group, I'm talking about this whole group. So, the beauty is also from the sense of humor that everybody has, that a lot of people have. Like, it's definitely a very funny, for the most part, group of women. You
Yes.
know, they're just everybody's amusing in their own way for whatever reason. And, beauty is not something that you see. Beauty is something that just comes from you.
Right.
Yep. Mhm.
Teresa, what would you say?
Sorry,
Me,
Teresa.
I'm shocked. I mean, Teresa is being quiet, and that's not normal. Like I'm
I
getting
can't
worried
get a word
here.
in
Like
edgewise now.
I'm asking questions, like kind of having a conversation, and
Well, I
and
don't want to
she's
talk
like
over people.
initially quiet for how much she loves to talk. Come on.
Yes, I know. So what was the question?
What's true beauty? Like, what would you say it entails true beauty?
I would have to agree with them. Kindness, coming from within, like with the beauty. What is it they call it? The beauty is the eye of the beholder, or whatever. Um, Definitely empathy, lifting people up, not tearing others down.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. Well, we almost to the end of the podcast. So I'm going to ask you one more question. Well, two more questions, but let's see how I'm going to do this. Well, what, I mean, taking consideration, you all have so much wealth of knowledge, so much experience. You are empowering so many young women as well in women of our age um, in TikTok, and you are building so many beautiful communities at the same time, and in so inspiring and empowering for me, for many people. But what advice would you offer to younger generations about cultivating self-confidence?
Mm.
I think I would have to say the advice I would give is never give up, always persevere. Don't let people tear you down. Stay strong and move forward. The
Mhm.
goals are never endless. I mean, they continue on.
Yeah. I would say get comfortable in being uncomfortable. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Take the step. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Mhm.
Hmm.
What's the worst thing? Maybe you make a mistake. Okay, so what? You move on. It's not the end of your life. Take that step. Push yourself out of that comfort zone.
Mhm.
Trust me, you're not the only person in the room with that same question. Do you know how many times I was in a room and didn't ask a question, but the person next to me asked the same question? And then I could kick myself for not pushing myself and raising my hand saying, wait a minute, I have a question. Push yourself out of that comfort zone. And Teresa's right. It keeps you moving forward. And that's what it's all about. Just be,
Mhm.
be the best you can be.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Just repeat the question one more time because I had it in my head.
What advice would you offer to younger generations about cultivating self-confidence?
I think that I would tell them to make sure whatever journey that they're on, that they realize that who they are is important and that you have worth no matter what you can do, what you can't do, and that your abilities, while they may be great, they may not be as great as this other person, but it doesn't matter. Comparing yourself to somebody else is something that I would just say. There's no reason to compare yourself with anybody else. Don't waste your time. That comparing the inside of you to the outside of somebody else, you always lose.
Yeah.
And if you think that this relationship, this friendship, this anything this job is the last one that you're going to ever have, I would want to tell them, no, it's not. It's not going to be the last relationship. It's not going to be the last friendship. I just spit, I swear.
Mhm.
It's not going to be the last. I know. And it's like,
And
there's
it's
a
not
video.
good. It's like, it's
Yeah. It's like,
not.
no. It slipped out. It slipped out. So I would say, don't waste time. Don't waste time.
Yes. I love
Mhm.
that one. Yes.
And I think
Don't
that
waste
gives
time.
you confidence.
Yeah.
You say goodbye, boom. You know what I mean? And I give people a lot. It's not like I do this all the time, but I just actually did a video on this the other day. It's like, if you don't like the book that you're reading, right? You don't have to finish it. You
Yeah.
don't. If you don't like this person that is in your life, you don't have to hang out with them. If you love this, type of pizza, go ahead, eat that type of pizza. You know what I mean? Do what you want to do that feels good to you. And it's basically comes down to if you continue to do good things for others, you gain confidence in yourself because you realize that, you develop your own self-worth and you get even more, worthy and lovable to yourself.
Yes.
And I'd
Totally
like to
agree.
add one more thing.
Go ahead.
Never say I can't.
Yeah,
Say I will.
I
Yes.
will.
Oh, well.
That is
Or I don't want to.
there you go.
That too.
I don't
That too.
wanna.
Or
There's
I'm not going to
moments
do
that
it. I'm not going to do
yeah,
it. I can do it, but I'm not gonna.
there are
Listen,
moments
they
that you
they
have
called
to
me
say.
they called me the voice of reasoning in our group. So
Yes. Yeah. I'm the one I get like hot under the collar. Surprising.
Oh my God. Well, ladies, thank you so much. Where can people can connect with you?
TikTok.
Um TikTok, they can
Okay,
TikTok.
go to any of our
let's go
thingamajiggies.
with Amy first.
That's AHEIDI_12 at TikTok.
And TikTok. Karen.
Karen dot well, I'm Karen no middle initial, but with
The
dots in between.
dots.
So it's Karen dot no dot middle dot initial.
As you can see it in the screen, if you're watching this from any of the video platforms. Teresa.
I'm easy. Teresa Manto Murray. No dots, no dashes.
No dash, no
No, no
nothing.
dot. I know. We all need to make this easier on each other.
Well, I definitely want to give you all a round of applause.
Thank you so, so,
Thank
so much.
Thank
you
This
you
was
for
fun.
having us.
so
We really
much
appreciate it.
Thank
for
Oh, I love that.
yeah, me too. Thank
Thank
you
you
so much
so
for
much.
spending so much time. From your spending some of your time with me here on the podcast and kind of like shed light into what you're doing on TikTok, why you're doing it, talk about confidence and a little bit of the skincare. Um, I am so thankful for having crossed path with each one of you because, in a way, you also lifted me up when I needed it. So I want to say publicly thank you for all that you do, and I encourage all the people out there that listen to the podcast to go and tag along and follow them and learn more about them and listen to their message because it's truly needed. It's needed for our community. It's needed for every woman. And they're talking about topics that not often we talk within our four walls. Let's be honest. And there are
Right.
topics in there that we sharing right now in TikTok, but we're not talking with the closest people around us. And it's so important to reach out and to get connected. So thank you again for
Thank
being here in the Be
Thank you
Fearless
for having us.
podcast.
Yes,
For
thank you.
audience out there, don't go anywhere. I'm going to close this, but don't go. For the
Okay.
audience out there, if you have not grabbed a copy of my book, Authorship, The Art of Writing Books, Self-Publishing, and Marketing on a Budget, go ahead and go to Amazon and grab your copy today, okay? You cannot miss not having this book, okay? We all have a story within us and it has to be told. So I hope that my book gives you all the tools that you need so you can tell your story. In the meantime, until next one, don't forget to unlock your potential and be fearless. Bye.